How you doing, both of you guys?
We're very, very
Very
well.
well. We're very well, Miguel.
My name is Butch. I'm Butch, and I'm talking to you from New Zealand, Miguel. I'm talking to you from 50 miles north of the capital city of New Zealand, which is Wellington, and I'm talking from a little country town called Otaki. It's summertime in New Zealand. The birds are singing. The grass is lovely and green. The sun shines out. And here, what could be better than talking to all our beautiful fans in Spain and to Miguel, who's the best. Yay!
Yay!
Whoa, and this is Luke the Bushwhacker, mate, and I'm out of Tampa, Florida, USA.
That's great.
The home of the Super Bowl this Sunday.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. That's great. A great introduction. I'm a very huge fan of both of you. So let's start. Butch, look, I would like to start going back to the 60s when you started your career as a tag team back in 1966. What do you remember about that period, and how much wrestling has changed compared to these days?
It was a huge change for us, Miguel, because we were brought up in New Zealand with no television until about the very early 60s. No TV, no wrestling on television whatsoever. So both of us hadn't watched professional wrestling on television. But because we used to go and watch matches live, but which wasn't great talent, the rings were boxing rings. The Boxing Association ran them. Wrestling in the ring was like wrestling on the concrete. That's how hard it was. There was 4 ropes to the ring, and it was like night and day in comparison to today. No possible way would we ever believe when we started in the early 60s that 40, 50 years later, here we would be talking to you as Hall of Famers inducted into the WWE in 2015 and one of the top tag teams the world has ever seen, and especially just voted the top tag team of the modern era. It's what a run, what a run, what a march, and we're still marching. Miguel, we're still marching. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, Miguel Butch missed out. The rings were 20 feet. They were like football fields, and we had rounds. We had eight-minute rounds, and if you didn't do 6 of them, the people were pissed off and wouldn't come back. You had at least to put 40 minutes in, or 30. The prelims 30 minutes a match, and the main events had to do at least 45 minutes.
Wow, that's
most of the style that we had in New Zealand in those days, Miguel, was the English style.
European.
European.
Different styles. So.
Yeah, we couldn't throw a punch or couldn't throw a stomp or a kick or anything like that, or you'd be disqualified. We didn't get involved into American professional wrestling till we both went into Australia and worked for an American promoter who ran Australia called Jim Barnett.
Jim Barnett.
Yeah.
Jim Barnett is the guy that was WCW. You know that later on Ted Turner had on WTBS. You know, with Hulk Hogan, and all that NWO. That was WCW. Well, the actual guy who owned that had that down in Australia in 1966, 65. WCW.
And we're right now talking about the 60s, but I would like to ask you now about another gold decade, which was the 80s, right? and you've wrestled like I remember in Puerto Rico, Japan, well, all over United States. And how do you remember the also the 80s, which I'm very interested in. Which memories do you have from that decade?
The 80s
In
was
the
a,
80s, mate. Where you go, Butch?
yeah, the 80s was a fantastic era, McGill. That's when Vince McMahon took over the nationwide TV in the USA and sent wrestling around the world. He brought in the 2 or 3 of the top talent or top wrestlers from every territory in the USA, and there was a lot of them, and they had all the characters like Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Junkyard Dog, so much talent.
Jake the Snake, Honky Tonk Man, Birdman,
Yeah, and everybody.
Tito Arriba, Tito Santana.
Yes,
Tito, yes, I remember Tito.
and it was absolutely tremendous. When we went into WCW, everybody could wrestle on the card. From the first match to the very last match was main eventers in other territories who had been main events in other countries, not only just the USA, but other countries around the world. And even at that stage, McGill, we have been, between Luke and I, we've been in over 60 different countries wrestled around the world. And the top talent all together under one roof, it was just amazing to see such quality wrestling in one night. It was just incredible. And as Luke said, with the other promotions, you were treated just like a wrestler or a professional wrestler. When you went to the WCW, WWE, or which became WWF, which became WWE.
Yep.
You were known then not just as a professional wrestler, but as a celebrity. You were treated completely different by the fans, by the general public, by the press, by everybody. It was a totally different ballgame. And it was very, very professionally run. Very, very professional.
I don't know, guys. You mentioned Batch, 60 countries, right? I don't know. It was in 1993 to be exactly right. It was. I think it was in Barcelona. I don't know, guys, if you remember. You came here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
At Christmas parade, and it was on water in the stadium.
Yeah.
On water. We were pirates in the Christmas parade. I was going to bring that up, McGill. That was in Barcelona.
It's like because wrestling in WWF TV started here in Spain in the early 90s, right? And it stopped, and it stopped like in 1993, right? And that match wasn't televised and it wasn't broadcast to the Spanish TV. It was very because the program of WWF only got like 60 minutes and they cut it, and we never saw that match here in Spain. And it's like a very curious thing for the Spanish fans that are from the old school in the early 90s.
Yes, right. I think the arena that we were in was one that was in the used for the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Beautiful arena.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I remember Butch left me there because I had to stay over. Butch was married to American. I had to stay over and go to the other big city. This was Barcelona. What's the other? Madrid. I had to go to Madrid to the U.S. Embassy, and it was the weekend, and I had to wait till Tuesday to get a new visa and my passport. So I had to fly there and stay over for a few more days and that. So I saw a bit of Madrid.
Yeah, that's
He got to
fantastic,
party
guys.
there.
Yeah,
He
but
got to party there, Miguel. And I don't know if you've seen a few lookalikes walking around the drill about Luke's age when he was there, because he was a bit of a naughty boy,
yeah,
a playboy, I think.
yeah, I've been there several times, so yeah, I
Yeah,
know
you know, you know
what
what I'm
you're
talking.
talking about. Yes. So after NWA, you arrived to WWE, and on those days it was WWF. And how was the transition from being like a tag team who got some hardcore moments in NWA to a tag team who got like a totally different gimmick, like a funny gimmick? So how
Yeah.
was for you that transition?
Well, the transition was tremendous in the sense that when we were the sheepherders, we were known as the most rugged, toughest, blood and guts tag team in the world at that stage. But the trouble was with that, Miguel, we would have to fight our way into the arenas, fight our way out. We had to hide our car, either take it in through the underneath the stadiums or whatever, or have security watch it, because we would come out of the matches and our whole four tires would be slashed. Our windscreen of the car would be smashed. People would have got on top of the car and stomped it down. And then we used to have to fight our way into the ring, out of the ring. Whereas when we changed to the Bushwhackers and we had more fun with it, people, the only reason they wanted to get near us was to pat us on the back or rub our heads or say, you know, we love you guys. And our car was safe and our body was safe. And we didn't have to take nowhere near as many bumps. And we didn't have to, no more lots of blood and guts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So for us, the transition was just at the right time. It was a beautiful time to do it, and it was lovely to see the fans change so instantly from hating your guts and wanting to bloody more or less kill you to wanting to love you and take you home to mummy.
Like you said, but it was tremendous. How about you, Luke?
Yeah, it's the same as Butch said. People used to stop us in the airport, businessmen, saying, "Thank you very much for entertaining my parents." These are lawyers or, you know, professional men. They would thank us for entertaining their parents to their grandchildren, to their children. You know what I mean? We were entertaining 3 generations with that new character, the Bushwhackers. And Vince gave us the name because he wanted to own us for merchandise reasons. But the gimmick was put together, you know, we'll Butch the arm swinging, and it came together because we used to swing our arms but we never used to do it full time. And Butch says to me, "We're going to do it full time now." And he says, "Swing your bloody," and I said, "I can't, my shoulders are bad." And he says, "No, swing your bloody arms if you want to make money." So I started swinging my arms. Anyhow, he saw the fans grabbed hold of that, and it was incredible how the fans, because when we walked down in arenas, everyone would stand and everyone would be doing this.
Yeah.
And the good thing about the Bushwhackers and the gimmick that we had there, Miguel, was that, as Luke said, we catered for little children right up to great-great-grandmothers. They all loved us. We weren't just for one age group or, you know, or anything else. Everybody got behind us. So that's what made us more popular and made everything just so much easier. And Vince loved what we were doing in the ring. All the time he would say, "I love you guys." And even if we weren't main event in the arenas, he would put us on last with whoever we were wrestling with to send the people home happy. We called it the happy pattern because, you know, they might have had Hulk Hogan against somebody, and that was the main event. Something might have happened that the bad guy won and the people were down. They'd play our music. We would march out. Whoa, yay. Everybody left the arena happy, smiling, marching home. No worries.
And they said, McGill,
yes,
McGill, they said, we brought another level of energy to WWF in '88. When we came there, we came with we were so energized with our character that we brought a new level of energy to the show.
That's one of the most beautiful things of wrestling, to leave the arena and see that all the family has got a smile on their faces. So it's priceless. Look, Butch, you have been mentioning a lot of WWE legends when I ask you about the 80s. Like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, The Ultimate Warrior, The Undertaker, and you got the pleasure to meet them in WWF. So how was the backstage back in the day in WWF? Because I don't know if you have heard recently that The Undertaker compared the backstage in the 90s to nowadays, that like it's more different like nowadays. So what can you tell both of you guys about the backstage in the 90s, and how was the atmosphere? Yes,
I understand where you're going, mate.
Yeah.
The click started when we left. It was just starting when we left in 1997. 96. You had the Undertaker and Yokozuna and that sort of crowd. Then you had the click, which was Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Big sexy Scott Hall.
Yep.
When we were there, mate, there was no clicks.
No.
Everyone was brothers.
It wasn't. Yep.
Right, Butch?
Yes, everybody was friends, and everybody would bend over backwards to help each other. It was very important. Even Hulk Hogan, who we hadn't met up to the stage, and the first night on television, Hulk Hogan walked up to us, and as you know, he was their greatest superstar of all time. And he walked up to us and he shook our hands and he said, wow, hi guys, I'm Terry. Not I'm Hulk Hogan, the champion of WWE. Oh no, he said, hi guys, I'm Terry. Welcome aboard. I've been watching you guys for a long time. You guys are a great tag team. Thank you for coming to our WWE, and everybody had that same attitude, tremendous attitude at that time.
I can even imagine how it was to see Hulk Hogan. Like it was your first day, and told you that, right?
Mate, 1988, Hulkamania was running wild.
Yeah, very wild.
Was running wild. It was running wild in the 80s. It was running wild. All the celebrities were at the shows.
Yeah.
It was another, the atmosphere, it was different, mate.
Yeah, and guys, we got a very short time to finish the interview. So
I just got something, Michael.
Yeah.
I got something to say. This is to let everybody know that a lot of people thought when they saw us go into the Hall of Fame, they said, why are you putting the Bushwhackers in? They're two clowns. Little did they know that we'd wrestled The Rock's grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia. And Butch went to Samoa for the 10th anniversary to wrestle him. And that was a major event. It was 10 boxing matches and 1 wrestling match. And they did something where they got a return match. And on top of that, we wrestled against Stu Hart, Brett's dad. Not many people could say that in this era. And of course, we wrestled one of the greatest heels of all the time too. And he was a good friend of ours, Killer Kowalski.
Yeah.
Sold out the Madison Square Gardens in the 60s and 70s. And that
shows you the range.
It shows you the people that we'd worked with over a period of time.
Yes.
Those are very big names. So it has been a great time to share with you, both of you. But look, thank you so much. I've got a lot of respect to you, and I have to say thank you to both of you, and also to Platinum Talent Agency, which they achieved to bring back the Bushwhacker for the first time in 20 years. And if you want to book them, you should type to the info at platinum at that agency, to that email, and that's it. We say again thank you to Platinum Talent Agency, and but look, once again thank you so much. I've got a lot of respect to you, and thank you for your time, really.
Gracias, amigo. Love you, Michael. And if we were there, me would both grab you in a big Bushwhacker bear hug and give you a good head licking.
Thank you,
Miguel.
Thank
Great
you, but
to be on your show. Thank you a lot. Good luck.
yes.
May we meet again. Whoa!
Yay!